And we're
Just like,
live.
hey,
We made it. We
nice.
made it. Nice. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Well, thank you guys for joining Any Last Words. I'm your host, Joe, and my guest tonight is Eric Hogan of Nevermind-The Nirvana tribute band. How are you doing this evening?
I am well, and I am tired because I am in Atlanta, and it's I don't know, 4 in the morning, however the time works. I don't know. It's like 11 o'clock. No big deal.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know it is pretty late.
It's great
I
though.
need to change my hours though a little bit too because it is like I got to be more considerate of other people in their time zones. So
I'm happy to do it.
thank you. I really appreciate your time. Um, so a couple weeks back, I had picked up an article. Someone sent me an article with your face on it talking about your band and a project that you had picked up and done not that long ago. But before we get to that, I want to talk about you and your band. Never
Ah,
mind the Nirvana tribute band. How did you guys get started? What's going on?
well, we've been together now. It's going on 7 years, and it started off as a. I've told this story so many times, but it sounds like it's made up. But we started this as a joke. I don't mean to demean how much we like the band or whatever, but it was a Halloween thing. We thought, this would be cool. We got nothing booked. Let's book a show. And it was just a bunch of us friends, and we're like, well, what the hell are we gonna do? They're like, well, it's Halloween, so let's just dress up as other bands and we'll do like 10 songs from each band. And so we did STP, and we did Foo Fighters. And we dressed, totally changed our clothes, do the whole thing, and this was Halloween night, and it was a big party. And we went back and we changed into all of the Nirvana stuff, and we came out, and all of a sudden, amongst all of these costumes, there's like tons of Nirvana shirts, and so we played our like 10 songs, and everybody got pissed that they wanted more songs. They're like, we don't, we only know 10 songs. So we played our songs, and then we kept getting hit up like, hey, I want to book the Nirvana tribute. I'm like, we don't know what we're doing, so we've just figured like, well, we better learn some songs. and and then we just kept doing it, building a show. We're up to a 2 hour show, plus we do the unplugged shows. So and we just love doing it. You gotta love it if you're gonna get one of those right there.
Nice, nice, nice. So I take it
But
you
yeah,
guys are big grunge fans,
um, yeah.
or
I
you
mean,
just knew a
it's
bunch of grunge band songs for that
no.
night.
I love. Here's the thing. I love anything from the '60s, '70s, '90s. I wasn't. I wasn't. I know this is like blasphemy to speak to someone from the West Coast about not liking, the Sunset Strip stuff. I mean, and to be fair, like I do like some of that. Guns N' Roses. I like the harder stuff, but I never connected to anything. The hair metal stuff. Never really connected to it. Our bass player was part of that. He grew up in Orange County, and spent most of his time on the Strip, and was in a big hair band. And he's gonna kill me for saying that, um, but when the '90s happened, I mean, no one can deny that, like, you hadn't seen a musical revolution like that since the '60s, where it really changed everything. Since, maybe, let's not say '60s, maybe you'd say like since at least punk, it's mid '70s, where music all of a sudden wasn't about image anymore until mid '90s. But it was all about substance, and it was about good songs, and no one cared if the guy was good looking. You know, like, it was okay to be ugly and play rock and roll in the '90s. It was okay. So yeah, I love that stuff.
Oh my gosh. So it just stuck. It was like you went to the party, you just so happened to be a Nirvana band, you got the big crowd going, and then you just started booking shows left and right. What else, did anything else happen with that? Like, not
No,
with that. Obviously more happened with that. Jesus.
well, it just didn't stop. I think it also helped that, like, my wife is the biggest Nirvana fan on the planet, and for the reason that I even suggested that we do some Nirvana songs was because on my wall was hanging one of Kurt's guitars that she has. And I was like, hey, I could get a sweater, and I got a guitar hanging up, it's Kurt's guitar. Not his actual guitar, but his production model guitar. But she bought that without even like she doesn't play. She just bought that guitar. So we're all like, yeah, let's just screw it. Yeah, that works. You've got the guitar and get a sweater. It'll be great. But there's also a connection to that. Like I remember, I remember listening to Bleach. I remember listening to Nevermind, especially Nevermind. Nevermind was just insanely big. Like you couldn't go anywhere and not get hit in the head with that album. And those songs were freaking great. And those videos were great. And that whole time period was just special. And so, the more we started digging into these songs and like learning them as a goof, we realized like, Jesus, these are great. Like this is great. It's one thing to play like Come As You Are or Teen Spirit, but then when you really start getting into some really good Nirvana stuff, it's like, man, this stuff is badass. It's badass.
Have you guys ever just for fun done an actual like parody of one of their songs, kind of like not like a Weird Al like crazy one, but just a fun one, just because?
I will from time to time. Kurt had this a thing about doing Teen Spirit. He never wanted to play it, and sometimes the crowd is just not the best. I don't mean that in like a snarky way. I mean that like you pull into a place and you're literally playing to like, cowboys, which is nothing wrong with cowboys, but they don't want you there, right? Sometimes you get a crowd and you're just like, I don't know who in the hell booked us here, but we're going to play this show. And then all they want, it Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's all they're yelling all night. That and like Enter Sandman or whatever. And so we get to Teen Spirit, and
which is totally a Nirvana song.
Totally. Yeah, it's like, do you not see what I mean? We're all dressed like totally like we're gonna play Metallica tonight. But Kurt would do this thing where he'd get a little crappy about it, and he'd change the lyrics or not sing them right, or sing another song or something. And I've actually done that a few times where I'm just like, okay, all right, that's what you want. So are you going to ask for? Sure. We'll start playing the song. I'll get to the verses, and I'll just say whatever, and they don't notice. That's the worst part. Is no one notices. Just like, yeah, whatever.
Like, man, this job is easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I don't even have to know the words. You don't even have to know the words. It's great.
Oh my gosh. So what is what's the craziest show you guys, good or bad crazy, what's the craziest show you guys have ever done?
Let's see. I think craziest for us as a band was probably we played, sorry, something just beeped. We played an outdoor festival, and it was August, if I'm not mistaken, July or August. And we got there, and it was crazy hot. And they told us, hey, we lost our lighting console. It was like, lost it? They're like, yeah, we don't know where it's at. So either you can have no lights, or you can have the shop lights. I'm like, well, we have to have lights. They're like, okay, just verifying. So we get up to come out of the RV and go into play, and they literally just have halogen lights. It was about 107 on stage at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm in, of course, I've got to be the guy I've got to wear sweaters and stuff. So I'm wearing I'm wearing like two shirts. Anyway, we all just absolutely, I got on the mic after the second song, and I'm like, look, I know you're going to give me shit about this, but the shirts are about to come off because we're dying up here. And there was about 700 people in that little area for us. And we finished that show. It looked like we walked out of a lake. We were in our shoes, everything, strings were breaking. It was ridiculous. So as a band, that was probably the wildest, but the wildest show I think we ever did was in North Carolina at the Fillmore. It was 2,000 people. It was packed. It was a great show. and they started losing their minds, like full on 90s style pits, stage diving. It was the bomb. And security couldn't even keep up. They just gave up. Security just, and we got video of it. And they're just, at that point, they're just helping people. It's all you could do. You had shoes going everywhere. And that was the way it ought to be. That's how we remember it. That was great.
Hell yeah. Oh my gosh. I bet you guys were like so pumped the entire time, and then like probably were just totally wired after the fact.
Scared. I mean, it's, yeah, we're all old men now. So we look at that now and we're just like, be careful, like, because well, we don't want to I don't want to be responsible for that. Like I constantly had to keep saying like, hey, you guys be cool, man. Like, we're friends, like everybody be cool. And they're like, yeah. And then they throw some girl in the air. You're like, it's not what I was talking about. But yeah, but it's a lot of fun. And that does happen to some extent now, pretty much every show. And it's just, I don't know. I think people want to either relive that part of their childhood, or they want to recreate what they thought that was like. I don't know. I was there in the middle of that when that was all going on in the late 80s to mid 90s, late 90s, especially with the late 90s stuff with, Pantera and Sepultura and all these great bands that were really coming up, and even into the newer metal stuff with Korn and all that. And that stuff was just, man, that was the best. You just go home with a black eye and your kidneys hurting. That was the best.
Now you think about that and you're like, oh my God, how many days will I be down because of that?
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah.
How many days it take to recover from this night? So, even without the black eye and all that other shit.
usually a couple of days. Seriously, when we do a long run, 3 shows or sometimes 2 shows, if they're like really intense shows, it'll take a couple of days, man. You'll feel it. You feel it tomorrow. We're not 25 anymore. You wake up the next morning and you're just like, oh my God, what happened? You're like, I don't know. We're just old. Like all we did was play. We just played, and like our bass player, who's like 9 feet tall. He's just, and he jumps around. He actually has a natural jump the way that Chris did when he played. And, he's every show after the show, he's just like, Jesus, dude, my back. I'm like, yeah, I'm lucky. I'm the guy who just has to stare at his feet. So I'm all right. Kurt didn't do a lot.
Right. Yeah. He sat or he looked down.
Yeah. I got the easy part.
There you go. Did you guys think that you guys would be going this long?
Nope.
No.
No. I just naturally assumed that, the novelty of having a Nirvana tribute would wear off and then we'd be done. But it's gotten bigger every year. So, I mean, and now for crying out loud, because of that, I'm in Rolling Stone. So
that's dope.
As an old guy, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
especially like, how much, you enjoyed it and you went and to the shows and were a part of all that. And then now you're in it.
Yeah. To do this. I mean, it's not lost on me. I mean, I bring it up all the time that like, I never in a million years would have thought that I'd be in a Nirvana tribute band for 6-7 years. I never thought that it would carry me where it's carried me. I would meet who I've met and have the experiences I've had because of how cool Nirvana is,
That is really cool. That is cool. And you guys are really good too. Like really good.
Thank you. Well, we enjoy doing it. We really do.
You guys seem like you really enjoy doing it. Jeez, oh my gosh, sorry. I was looking over at the comments and they're being nerds. Damn it, Richard made me lose my question. But anyway, so how did I like I said earlier, I had covered the new project. I guess it's probably not new to you. You probably did it a while ago, but to us, it's a new project. That your band had did, where you collaborated with AI to produce a brand new Nirvana song. And we spoke briefly before this, and apparently I gave out misinformation that was misinformation that I read online, where it was apparently they fed midis into the machine, and it just came out that way. And then they hired studio artists to recreate the songs with live instruments.
They fed the the AI software 30 Nirvana songs.
Okay.
And so the algorithm then basically took the common denominators from those songs and created a tempo, a key, guitar parts based on key fills, the whole thing. It takes quite a while. It even generated lyrics based off the lyrics that were fed in, and then it created a melody based on a vocal melody based on the guitar and tempo. So everything that you hear when you go and listen to the track, with the exception of me singing, is all AI. That's all generated.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it's pretty impressive. It doesn't. I've seen a lot of comments on YouTube about it, about people responding, going, that doesn't sound like, it doesn't sound like Nirvana. Well, but the thing is, I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, I can tell you from the Nirvana nerd point of view that a lot of Nirvana doesn't sound like Nirvana, depending
Yeah.
on your depending on your frame of reference for Nirvana. You could go back and listen to the Bleach album and go, that doesn't sound like Nirvana. But then you could ask, like, the old school guys and listen to Nevermind and go, oh, that doesn't sound like Nirvana. So I think that there's definitely a Nirvana vibe about this, in the way that there was a Nirvana vibe about You're Right. That song wasn't written necessarily, I say written, quote unquote, by Kurt either. It was sort of finished by Chris and Dave. So that's not necessarily a Nirvana song either, with the exception that technically it was recorded by the guys in Nirvana, but that was sort of just put together the same way. They sent me the files. First of all, they contacted me, and I thought we get a lot of people asking for things. And I didn't know if this was even real. I was just like, sure, okay. And
Paint it a little bit.
then they sent the file. I was like, wait, this is okay. So you sent me a file, and then they sent me a contract, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hang on. So then I have to get in touch with them. I'm like, okay, so I got some sort of contract. What's this about? And they're like, well, yeah, it's going to be for an album, and you've got to sign a release, and we're going to pay you. And I'm like, oh, what? Like, I just thought this was like you were some weirdo and you just wanted, So they were very serious about it. I recorded it over a weekend. I had to have them sort of tell me what they really wanted, because I was thinking, well, I'll just sing it like Kurt. And they were like, well, yes and no. I mean, we don't want to get in trouble, and I get that.
Okay.
There's, so like, dial back some of these things. We don't want it to be so blatant. We're just kind of looking for the idea of Nirvana, sort of in the same way that Seether is sort of like the idea of Nirvana. So anyway, I think the track is cool. Do I think that it would stand up on a Nirvana album? Probably not, but I don't know. But that wasn't the point either. So it was really just about the premise of this project was to bring awareness to mental illness by saying, if these people had help and we're still here, what might that sound like? I mean, emphasis on might, but what might that sound like based on, what we know about them, and, if they were happier, or whatever. I mean, I'm probably misspeaking at that point, but that was sort of I heard that and I thought, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So it's not like a rip-off thing, and they're not making money on it,
Okay.
Every dime I think that's generated from any of the live shows or whatever, it all goes to charity. So yeah, it's super cool. I was really proud to be a part of it. And again, I just didn't take it very seriously. I took it seriously in the sense that, okay, I'll do this and I'll do my best. And then that was December. And then last month I get another email, same thing. We get an email to our website, and it's like, hey, this is so and so from Rolling Stone magazine. I'm like, yeah, sure it is, and and they're like, well, do you have a phone number? We can get in touch with him. Like, yeah, it's our phone number's on the page, and then there was a voicemail. Hey, this is so and so from Rolling Stone magazine. Like, okay, all right, I guess it's real. And then that was wild to get interviewed by Rolling Stone, especially coming from my generation where magazines were still a thing, and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So do you get to perform this song live ever, or is that a possibility to be a thing, or is that just we're leaving it alone at the recorded track, or?
Yeah, we probably wouldn't do it. I don't know if they would have an issue with that. Probably not, but it's not a Nirvana song, so
Right.
that's like you're trying to get drunk at the bar and the cover band's like, here's a song we wrote. Like, no, I don't, just play Enter Sandman. That's
And then you can just make up all the words as you go. They won't know the difference because they're drunk. So, oh my gosh. So, with the whole, past year, almost and a half of doom and gloom that we've had, have you guys been able to really do much? I know you guys have shows coming up soon, but have you guys had really any time to do anything, or has it just been practicing and just sitting around waiting, or?
We've been active, not irresponsibly so. We've taken shows where they're socially distant shows where that's we know that they're taking precautions and they're being safe about it. I mean, it's one thing, to each his own. And if you're going to go out and just have at it like nothing is wrong, I mean, you're the one who's got to live with that. But
right.
We just couldn't do that. And so we were very selective about what we took because we knew that we had to promote that. So it's one thing to say, okay, I'm way up here and you're down there, so I've got nothing to worry about. But that's not the point. The point was I can't promote this and I can't convince you to come out like there's no problem.
Right.
Like there's a serious freaking problem. So we've been taking some shows, but definitely, I mean, we're playing probably 10% of what we would usually play in a year. Just trying to be safe about it. And now that, the vaccine is coming up, and not to change tone or nothing, but this is all really refreshing because now we can start doing shows where people can enjoy themselves. And we don't have to be, racked with guilt on like, just sit back down, don't stand up, don't just put your mask on. And so now it's getting better. And yeah, we got shows flooding in now. So, we'll probably be pretty busy by the end of the year.
Very, very nice. Oh, you got an invite out to Texas if you guys want to go out there. They'd be happy to see you.
Love to. I know a lot of ZZ Top songs.
ZZ Top, they like Pantera a lot too.
I know a lot of Pantera.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. If you guys are interested in finding out more about Nevermind, the Nirvana tribute band, all the links are in the description below or above on the screen. I don't know, wherever you're watching from, it's going to be there. So you guys make sure you check that out and give it a follow, give it a like, and give some support because these guys are freaking awesome. I love this. Wow. And that's just so cool that, I don't know, like the whole AI thing is starting to trip me out a little bit. Because right before the link was sent to me about the project you had done, I covered another topic, maybe like a month or two prior, about how AI is, I don't know how much you're into like sci-fi and like horror sci-fi or any of that. Did you ever see the what, I always mess up the freaking name. It's on Netflix. It's Mirror Black or Black Mirror or whatever
Black
it's called.
Mirror. Black
Did
Mirror,
you watch
awesome.
any of those?
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, did you see the one where the chick loses her husband and then her friend or relative or whatever convinces her to like use this program to start uploading him? And then she gets so deep into it, she gets like a body for him and like brings him back.
Hey,
That's
I'm all for
a thing.
I'm all for sex robots.
Say nothing about that, but okay, we can go there.
I'm just saying, man, I'm all for it. Like, I mean, I don't see the difference. That he was asking me about that the when I was being interviewed for Rolling Stone, he asked, he's like, so if like, what's your, assuming your favorite band was Nirvana, my favorite band is Queen, which is, I think a lot of people think is funny, but it's always been my favorite band. And they're like, so okay, so if there was a a hologram show, and I'm like, yeah, don't even finish the statement. Yeah, the answer is yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, if you love it, you love it. I don't care how you make the hot dog. I just want the hot dog. So it doesn't matter to me that it's AI or that it's hologram or it's whatever. That's for the estates to argue about. I just like the show. So I'm totally cool with it. As long as everybody's on board, if I can get a new Prince album that's AI, fine. Yeah, give it to me. That's fine. You give me a new Chris Cornell album. That's I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna buy it.
Right. Well, it's getting crazier with the whole AI, because this came out after the other topic I did, where Microsoft actually they patent this program like a while back, and they've just been working on it like crazy. Where basically, you know how they did the Tupac, like the hologram Tupac, where he was up on the stage moving and dancing. Like basically, they're trying to do this, but like for everyday people. And to make it to where how the MIDI machine was like fed like 30 Nirvana songs, and then it generated what they felt Nirvana would have came out with. It's going to be the same thing, where your social media posts, your text messages, your voicemails, your emails.
Yeah.
If you're alive while it's happening, you can train this to like be you, and then it's like we figured out immortality in in a way we weren't planning on it to happen. Like, we really wanted to be here, but it's not. Like, an extension of us gets to go on, basically.
Again, I don't even have to hear the end of it. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, come on. There's nothing not cool about that.
It's totally cool, but it's freaking scary at the same time. But it's like,
even if it goes like full Skynet, that's still badass. Let's just do that.
Oh God, don't say that.
No, I'm saying let's just do it.
Oh no, T-100's running after my ass.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Get in the chopper now. I'm Arnold. I'm the governor of California. Get in the chopper now.
Yes.
Oh God, that's all we heard for so long living in California.
Yeah. I'll take that over the last 4 years.
Of many years, I'll say. But that's another, Skynet story.
So I know that you predominantly like to talk a lot of horror, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a big horror fan. About 600 DVDs horror fan.
Very nice. I'm peanut butter and
jelly. As a matter of fact, I raised my kids on, Mario Brava and Fulcia, and I mean all of the Romero. They can see something across. They can see something across the street and tell you, that's nice. Dawn of the Dead, not Day of the Dead, or what. It's
very cool.
Yeah. I was really excited when you asked me to do this. Of course, let's get the Nirvana stuff out. But I just think that the more exposure that good horror can get, the better. And I definitely feel like there's still good horror, but there's, unfortunately, like everything, there's a lot of bad horror too.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of anything that's a jump scare. I don't think that's horror. Horror to me has become lately all about that. It's become jump scares, and I don't think that that's scary. I think what's really scary is something like did you see Bone Tomahawk when that came out?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Oh my God, Kurt Russell. It's Western horror. Oh my God, it's so good.
What, with Kurt Russell? Really?
Yeah, it's so.
Oh my God, where the hell is my pen? I gotta find this. I love Kurt Russell. Holy crap!
Yeah,
one of my favorite movies is Death Proof.
Oh, so good.
Because I love Quentin Tarantino, and Stuntman Mike. He was such a good creepy asshole bad guy.
Absolutely,
I loved him so much.
He's the best.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. So yeah, you should definitely check out Bone Tomahawk. It went under the radar. It came out right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it got
Oh.
it got screwed, but it is phenomenal. You're not going to see it coming. It's phenomenal. It's one of those slow burns. But anyway, I'm not going to say anymore. But yeah, if you love true horror and you love Kurt Russell, and I mean, I'm not a big Western guy. So the fact that this is a horror Western, I was like, okay. And Kurt
Yeah, that's why I
Russell,
was like, no, I've not heard of this.
yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. That just popped in my head. But anyway, yeah. As far as new horror, there's not a whole lot out there that I really love, but I really love the old stuff. And I always bring up to everybody that I feel like you should watch High Tension. You should watch, as far as new horror goes, you should definitely watch Bone Tomahawk. And let's see, what else did I want to bring up? Oh yeah, and Bloody Sunday. Everybody should watch Bloody Sunday.
Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, Bloody Sunday, Mario Bava, like 1960, I don't know, something like that's crazy. But is from Brazil, and he is nuts. I mean, the guy is nuts. Just made a beautiful movie with no money, and it will creep the hell out of you. It's so great.
Okay. Well, what was your first horror movie that you remember watching?
The first horror movie I remember seeing was my mom took me, because it was cheaper to take your kid to the movies than it was to get a babysitter. She took me out on a date that she was at, and we saw Magic, Anthony Hopkins story about, basically it's an elaboration of a Twilight Zone episode where he's losing it, and he's a ventriloquist, and so he sort of projects all of his negativity and his evil, so to speak, into his dummy, and then things start to happen, and he blames it on the dummy, and then you don't know if the dummy's real or not, but it scares the crap out of you. I mean, it's a freaking ventriloquist dummy. That's frightening. But people start to die, people start to get hurt, and he's losing it. But that's the first horror movie that I can remember seeing. Like, I saw it in the theater. And then after that, it was just all, like, any slasher film my mom could get tickets to, all the sleepaway camps and Halloweens and Funhouse and Friday the 13th.
Oh God, I hated Funhouse. That movie was so horrible.
Yeah.
That was like one of the worst horror movies I'd ever seen in my entire life.
But when you're 5, it's pretty scary.
Right.
The freak in the carnival, trying to, I mean, it's pretty scary. Or Happy Birthday to Me. That one got me. There was one about Valentine's Day.
My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
That I saw all of those in the theater when I was a kid and shouldn't have. But and The Exorcist, always the absolute best. The Exorcist, my mom actually, I think it came on like ABC.
What?
It was like in the late 70s. They aired it on television, and
no way.
And
I mean, I'm sure it was very cut, but oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's not going to be, a couple of scenes aren't going to be in there, but still, just the general idea. There's another one that brings me up to my favorites. Exorcist 3.
Okay.
Exorcist 3 is amazing. George C. Scott, Brad Dourif, unbelievable how good that movie is. If you haven't seen that, you definitely have to see Exorcist 3. It's right there with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Yeah.
That
one was awesome. I love that one. Yes! That's one of my favorites. Caroline Williams.
Oh yes, Caroline. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you've got
Phil Mosley.
Yeah. Chop. Incredible.
Yeah. Gator, Leatherface, Gator.
and
Goathanger.
and Dennis Hopper, and then he kicks the hole in the side of that building, and the guts just keep
Pour
coming
out.
out. Like, it's amazing. That's such a great movie. Such a great movie.
I love practical effects. I mean, CGI, I believe has its place. I know I've said this a million times. Everybody's heard me say this a million times. I think CGI is really cool. I think it has its uses, it has its place, but I hate it when movies like really rely on that to like Resident Evil. I love the shit out of Resident Evil, but most of the zombies, they're not scary zombies when they're done at practical, but they use a lot of CGI on the faces and stuff, and that really is like, man, come on, you got really good artists out there that can make this look good and real. Like, do it.
I Am Legend.
Oh yeah.
I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. You know, I loved Omega Man. I loved Last Man on Earth. I loved the story. And then you go see this, and you have all of this money, and then why would I? What the hell is that? What? These are just. It looks like it's a cartoon. You know, like I'm not. That's not frightening. It's frustrating. You know, it's not the same thing. You want a scary zombie. Honestly, I don't think that I've ever. I don't think I've, other than the original '68 film, I don't think that I've been afraid of zombies more than Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead. I think that is frightening. That's frightening. That's real, practical, frightening zombie. They're running after you, for crying out loud. Not to be confused with 28 Days Later, which was a virus, but this was, you can't win against a zombie, man. You can't win. Well, if you kill all of them, there's still going to be one left.
Yeah. Well, because they never really say exactly like why they came back in George Romero's. They're not really zombies. He actually refers to them as ghouls, and they refer to them as ghouls. Like, it's just the whole people related them to the whole voodoo deal, and they started calling them zombies. But they never really tell you like why they become the way. I mean, I think they do later in the other ones, but the first one, it's just kind of like, the earth, there's no room in hell. And so, the dead's going to walk the earth and eat your face.
Yeah. In the original, you do get that. In the '68 version, you do get that small snippet on the radio of a comet is flying.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But Romero doesn't he doesn't say that's the thing. He's like, but there's a comet. Now people, the dead are returning to life and reanimated corpses. And so,
Oh, Ron says, one of our viewers said that they did say how they came back in Night of the Living Dead. How did they come back, Ron? You tell me.
Well, in Return of the Living Dead, it's toxic waste.
Yeah, in Return of the Living Dead, I liked those too. As cheesy as those were, I fucking loved those. I didn't like what was the Return of the Living Dead 2, where it was that girl, the punk rock girl, Julie, where she's like putting the hooks and stuff in her.
Yeah, that's actually I think that's 3. Rave to the Grave, isn't that what that is?
Yes, you're right.
That's
you're
3,
right.
Yeah, because 2 is basically the same as 1. They just sort of redid it, sort of like Evil Dead style. They just sort of redid it and with a little more money.
Yeah. No, but I did like the second one. I it was like cheesy and it was fun. Like, it had funny parts in it, and I liked it that there was humor in it, and it was just so.
That soundtrack. You go back and listen to that soundtrack for the first film. That is groundbreaking as hell. All the punk rock, goth rock, death rock that's on there. I mean, incredible soundtrack for Return to the Living Dead. As a matter of fact, I would say that Return to the Living Dead is incredibly important to the post-punk movement, simply because they took a genre of music that no one paid attention to during the punk rock age, gave it a spotlight, and from that, you got goth. So it didn't exist really. It wasn't a scene before they compiled all of these artists for that soundtrack. And then that soundtrack is phenomenal. It's so good.
I'll have to go check that out. I don't think I've heard or listened to a soundtrack of anything in so long. I don't know why. I was watching, excuse me. My boyfriend has never seen Resident Evil. And I love Resident Evil. I like the story. It's like, if I can't deal with the effects and all that, I still like, okay, well, I'll just appreciate the story of it. And the action was cool too. But we were watching it and I was listening to a bunch of the music and I was like, damn, that's when music was like really starting to get cool and like a little more into the techno and the, you know, the
Yeah.
bass, like right before the dubstep and, you know,
Yeah.
all that other crap that was coming out. I was like, man, that was really good music back then.
Yeah. I feel that way about Silent Hill. I think that Silent
Oh,
Hill, Silent Hill, especially the first Silent Hill movie,
mhm.
because the game is frightening. But
Yes.
when but the first movie is so well done, and I don't know what happened in the second. That's garbage. But the first one, I still, as a standalone film with no knowledge of the game, I'll still introduce people to that. Like, you want to watch something really effed up and awesome and beautiful, and you put that in. I mean, it's and the score for that is super creepy, just like noises and scrapes and droning. It's awesome. That's awesome.
What is it called? Like, what do they call it? Scene core or whatever it's called, or scenescape or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some weird crap like that. Yeah, I've heard some stuff like that before. Um, yeah. Oh, man, now I'm gonna go back and start like digging through some old movies that I like and start listening to soundtracks just randomly now.
Oh yeah. The Exorcist with, Tubular Bells and all of that's incredible stuff. Like, I've never been one for getting high, but I always felt like that I missed out on a few things. I had friends who would do that, throw on, the Exorcist soundtrack and take mushrooms. I'm like, I don't even know why that sounds like a good idea. Like,
No.
that sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
No.
but
I mean, I guess if you're that strong in your brain, you're just always happy and you're not going to think about what that music is associated with. I mean,
mhm.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a vision that doesn't leave my head. The side of Pazuzu, the face of Pazuzu is
Oh, yeah.
that's frightening. That's frightening.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. I've met Pazuzu, if you will, Eileen Dietz. She does
Yeah,
not
yeah,
look
yeah.
like Pazuzu in real life.
I know. Isn't that cool though? Isn't that
She
cool
is
that
sassy as shit.
that happened a few times. The original emperor from Empire Strikes Back was a female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
also a female actor, just to get the voice and the stature and all that. And then you find out later on that, like, wait, that was a woman did that. Like, that was
Very nice.
scary that was frightening. It's frightening, that. Yeah, there's been a couple of times in film where they've really made use of the right actor.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. Um, okay, so I have a couple other questions for you, and these are questions because I do interview a lot of indie horror, um, a lot of directors, actors, makeup artists, special
Yeah.
effects, and whatnot. So I like to ask them a couple of questions that's, horror movie related, to put you in that perspective, and just to see how you answer. It's a little weird about getting to know people,
Okay.
but if you could die in a horror movie, how would you want to die?
How would I want to die in a horror
How
movie?
would you want to die in a horror movie? If you could die
Uh,
any way you wanted to.
uh, I think explosion.
Ooh, that is a
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I think explosion might work. Just so I make sure I can take some people with me. I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be. I don't want to be put on a meat hook or dissected, slowly or anything like that. But I think, yeah, the big blaze of glory would be pretty cool.
Okay, okay. I will like
Cool.
again. That is a first. That is a first. I like it. Okay, now if you could kill somebody in a horror movie, how would you kill them?
Oh, I would probably go Saw style. Some sort of
Ooh.
elaborate, some sort of elaborate trap that they're not going to get out of. Like, let's see which one. I hate to be cliche and say that, like, the reverse bear trap, but god damn, that's
Oh,
great. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stick with reverse bear trap. That's badass. That's just badass.
okay. So you want to mess with somebody psychologically and then wham, let them have it real good?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're gonna do
Okay.
it, you got to have some fun with it.
I like it, and that is also a first. So I've had some people give similar answers, and I'm like, okay, but in a different way. So
Yeah.
But I like that. I love the big surprising answers. Let's see. Actually, I've had a lot of comments tonight. One guy says you should go cannibalism.
Oh.
Ron says I would want a mask by Silver Shamrock. I cannot speak
Oh!
tonight. Lord. Silver Shamrock to eat away at my head.
Dude, that's such an underrated movie. That's such an underrated movie. It should never have been called Halloween. It should have just been called Season of the Witch. It's so good. And I may be the only person on the planet who really appreciates it, but every year I have to watch that. My kids even know it. They know the song. They know it doesn't make any sense. They question why that's a leading man. And I don't know, man. It's a perfect storm of like, what? I mean, it's not as bad as like The Stuff, but it's in that realm. But man, Halloween 3 is so good.
Ron said he also loves that movie.
Great movie.
Now, how are your kids older or are they younger or no judgment? Because I think all of us here have been watching this stuff since we were in the womb. So no parenting judgment.
Yeah, I got my son's 22, my daughter's 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're older, but they're still pretty young.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Super
cool. So do you guys ever have like special times where like you get together to watch like do you guys get together on Halloween or do you guys ever like come together on Christmas to watch a movie together that's a horror movie or anything?
It starts about mid-September and it goes all the way to Thanksgiving, like Eve. There is nothing that can be shown in the house that isn't a horror movie. Because I have so many, and because you have to fit in all of the classics as well. You got to have the standards, all the Universal stuff, and all of that, and the Hammer films, and I mean you've got to do it right, and and then you lead up to your Sleepy Hollows and your plus there are rules. Dad has rules, like so there's no slashers, right? Slasher is not monster. That's not the same thing. So it's got to be, there's all these, so they get sick of it. They get burnt out with the horror by the time we get to Thanksgiving, and then they're so happy that like, okay, good, you're done, but I now have to start in September and it's almost 2 full months of nothing but horror films.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty cool. I've never heard of anybody doing that before, but that's pretty cool.
I have to. It's my favorite time of the year. We do the house up. I dig up the yard. It's a whole thing. It takes all month to get it together, and and I think they'll appreciate it more when they get older and they don't have it, but having to grow up in that, they're definitely like, they moved out this year. And I think they're definitely going to be like, not doing any of that crap, like that's crazy dad's crap. We're not doing that. So.
Do you guys ever watch Thanksgiving, or have you ever seen Thanksgiving?
Oh, I've seen Thanksgiving. Yes. And Poultrygeist, and all of those phenomenal Zombievers, zombie strippers, all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so many that I'm still trying to get through. There was Llamageddon, and there was some other fucking like pinata one or something like that. I don't know. Like when I first watched Thanksgiving, they all came up in a row, right? Like suggested to watch, and I was like, "What's this? Save the list.
Yeah, and don't forget, Thanksgiving 2, and there might even be 3 now.
Oh no, they never did it 2. They just went straight to 3.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, it was a joke because I kept thinking, where the fuck is 2 at? I can't find it. I can only find 1 and 3.
I'll never know what's going on.
I know, and then somebody had to tell me there is no such thing as 2. It was a joke, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
It's genius though. The turkey talks, and he's like, his head comes out of your. I mean, that's great.
Oh my god, it was
clearly a puppet. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, the second one was crazier than the first one, but I don't think I mean, it was funny in its own way, but not funny like the original was funny.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I mean, because they had like the raunchy, homegirl granny, like, what's up? Like, sprinkle the wrinkle. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Well, what's genius about that is that, they've got nothing to lose when you make the first film. So it's again, if you wanted to compare them, you could compare the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre to the second Chainsaw Massacre, which was Toby's way of saying, I need to get out of this, and I got so much shit, in 75 for all this crap that I did, that and
Oh
what you
yeah.
thought you saw. And so I'm going to take the second one and go a million times worse, just to sort of be done with this. But if you look at that, there's so much heart and creativity in that original film. Very little actual gore in that. And then, as a matter of fact, the only time you see the chainsaw make contact with anyone is when Leatherface drops it on his own leg. That's the only time you see him do anything with the
Yeah.
chainsaw. But then you go to the second one, and it was just like, bets are off, man. Everybody dies, blood everywhere, guts everywhere. We're just going to eat everything, and it's going to be gross. But same thing. So you look at things killing. That first film is genius, and the second one, yeah, it's all right, but it doesn't have that we don't have anything to lose mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh. I actually have a question directed towards you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Since I've been glancing over to not be so rude. Let's see. CW asked Eric, what is your favorite B-side Nirvana song to play live and why?
Sappy. Yeah, not a lot of people know that song, but it was the song that Kurt always considered unfinished. It was the song that had changed so many times. He worked on that song for almost 10 years. And he's still, to this day, you can go and hear versions within the same year where the lyrics are completely different. The bridge is completely different. He always wanted that song to be perfect. So I love playing that song because people don't expect it. It's a great song. And here's what's really cool. We can tie this back to the horror thing. The song is about a serial killer. So it's about.
You said Sappy?
Sappy. Yeah. Yeah. Sappy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about a serial killer. It's about holding someone prisoner in a laundry room, knowing that they're going to kill you and you don't know how. And then he keeps going over ways that he wants to kill you and keep you in a little case. And so it's one of the few songs where Kurt would, wrote about something so dark. He wrote about other things at other times. Polly is the same kind of thing.
Yes.
But Sappy is just really dark.
Wow.
And it's got this really beautiful upbeat music, and then like the lyrics are so dark. So I love playing that song.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's why I was having to ask, because I know about Polly, because I do another show where myself and a co-host, we cover like true crime and conspiracy and UFOs and just weird, random, crazy things people talk about. And
Nice.
that was one of the ones, was Polly, and how it was about a man who had kidnapped, tortured, and raped a young girl. And I was like,
Yep.
I had no clue. And it just came up when I was researching stuff for my topic for the night. I was like, what?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Sappy is along those lines. But it's a bit,
Wow.
it goes a little further.
Oh my gosh. I have another question for you. I got to go back and find it because I keep getting just at least comments, so it kind of shuffles me around. Ron wants to know, I'm curious, what is his favorite Giallo film?
Oh,
Did I say that right?
I mean, yeah, that's Italian
Okay.
horror. I mean, I would probably have to be a bit more mainstream, and I think it's probably, and again, this is an extremely mainstream answer, but it's a beautiful film. Probably Suspiria is probably my favorite. It's just the colors and the surreal vibe of that film is just gorgeous. So that's probably my favorite.
Okay. Okay. I need to see if there's another one. Oh, the rest of it's comments about Texas Chainsaw. Um, yeah, okay. He's CW just comments with, I'm grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Beautiful work.
Awesome.
Well, we have a couple minutes left. Is
All
there
right.
is there anything we didn't cover that you want to make sure you get out there to everybody? Because you're here. This is your time, sir.
Just, yeah, please stop by. The YouTube page, the Facebook page, or the Instagram page, or the website. I mean, we're easy to find. Nevermind ATL, because we're from Atlanta. I'd appreciate it if everybody come by, say hi, give us a like. If we're in your area, come out and see us. And we're just trying to keep this alive. I know that's a bit ridiculous considering you can still hear Nirvana on the radio 10 times a day, but you don't get it live anymore, and that's what we do. You come and see us, and we have the full in utero backdrop with the crows and the crosses and the trees, and the angels are out there on stage, and we break everything, and there's a lot of time, love, and effort and money that goes into these shows to try and give you, as to try and pay as much respect as we can. And so if you love Nirvana, you love this type of music, we'd love to hang out with you for the night.
That's awesome. You guys make sure, like I said earlier, all of the links are in the description somewhere around the box of us. And you can go check them out anywhere. And yes, do you guys have any California shows coming up this year by any chance?
No, not so far. But now with everything opening back up, fingers crossed. We'll definitely take anything. We're in Seattle a couple years ago. That was surreal. Hoping to get back there. New York. I'd love to come out to California. I was out in California a couple years ago, but just for vacation and hanging out in your desert. And but yeah, we would love to come out. I got a lot of friends out there that some big bands out there, so I'd love to come out and see them and spend some time out there. So if anybody wants to book us, hit us up.
Yes, please. Let's get them booked in California. I want to go see you guys live. I have not seen a live show in like a year and a half. And I'm just like, and I think you guys seem like you guys put on a really, really good live show. And not a lot of artists do that. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, yeah, we're here. Let's just get this done and go home. But it's like you guys are into this. And I love that because you get that energy and it goes back and forth and just creates a really great experience.
Yeah. Like I was saying originally, in the beginning of the interview here, it's these crowds don't play around, and they're not gonna accept anything less than the energy they're giving. They first of all they paid for this, right? So they spent time, they spent money, they could have done literally anything else. They did this. So we promised that we're going to give you the experience you remember. And that's what we deliver. I mean, I've had to do shows. All of us have had to do shows, hurt or sick or whatever. And we're not going to not do it. It could be 25 people. It could be 2,500. It doesn't matter. Once we get out there and we start playing, that's it. We're going to be loud. We're not going to stop until it's done. And we're going to give you 100%.
Hell yeah. That's how it should be every time you go to a show, no matter who you're going to see.
Yeah.
Oh, Ron has another question for you, actually. He goes, what do you think of Twitch of the Devil Nerve?
I haven't heard of that. I don't know what that is. It's a new one on me.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I will look into that. But I don't know what that is.
I'll probably write that down eventually too. Add it to my list of other things that I have to eventually get to.
I'm game for anything with the devil in it. Usually that's very disappointing. I'm looking at you, House of the Devil. Twitch of the Devil Nerve. So I'll definitely
he just corrected it. He said Death Nerve.
So Death Nerve. No, but that sounds cool too.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I haven't seen that, but like I said, I'm a nerd for it, so I'll go find it. Is that an indie thing? Is it new?
I don't know. I've never heard of it. I don't know. It might be, and I just haven't heard of it yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds cool.
Oh, yeah, it does. God, there's so much out there. Like, there's so much stuff I still have to see. There's some old stuff too I've never heard of before, or never just got around to seeing. Like, never had the opportunity to see it. That I just there's a lot of things I need to watch. So
You
I need
should
to catch up.
definitely you should watch Magic. It's it's not easy.
No, it sounds cool because I do like the Twilight Zone, the old Twilight Zone. And then when you were talking about the ventriloquism, that or ventriloquist, it reminded me of, because I love Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Dark Side, and how
Yes.
Tales from the Crypt did that one with, oh, what's his name? He was a ventriloquist, and he had the doll Woody,
It
and it
was
was like really, it's like twin hand, or it's conjoined twin or whatever on his hand.
wasn't it
Don Rickles.
was it, or was it, no, wasn't it the guy who did the voice for Roger Rabbit? Wasn't it Robert I can't remember. I think I remember what you're talking about.
But the main actor was Don Rickles, wasn't it? And then the guy who did Roger Rabbit was the voice of the
I don't
conjoined
remember
twin
that.
on his hand, wasn't it? I don't know. But that's instantly what it reminded me of, and I
Yeah.
remember how cool that episode was. I was like, ooh, yeah, I kind of want to see that movie.
Speaking of which, are you guys up to speed on Creep Show, the new Creep Show?
You know what? I really couldn't get into it. I tried watching that. I know.
What?
I only watched
Head.
the first thing that came out.
No.
Whatever the first animated one that came out. I don't know if it was the Christmas one or whatever the hell it was last year. It was really bugging the shit out of me.
Okay, that was the sort of in between episode. So season 1,
okay,
both seasons are incredible. If you love that sort of pulp horror, famous monsters, that kind of stuff, this it's Greg Nicotero has knocked it out of the park. And there is an episode in season 1 just called The Head, and it is unbelievably frightening. And I've never seen anything like it, and it's genius. It's genius. There's some great Nazi. There's some Nazi werewolf stuff. It's so great. It's such a great show. I just started watching season 2. Again, just phenomenal. Good old creepy practical effects. Everything's practical. There's this old scarecrow. I'm all over the place, but it's I can't say enough about it. I would strongly suggest that anybody who hasn't seen it go see it. And if it sounds like you just saw the holiday special,
I think that's what it was.
You should definitely go back and see season 1 and then watch season 2. I know I'm like, it sounds like I'm working for them, but it's phenomenal. It's just that great old school horror, I grew up on that, on those magazines, on those comic books, and it's just perfect. It's so well done.
Okay, well, I'll have to go back and check it out. But am I wrong in saying that one was bad?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, because I really, really tried to it was where the guy was on the desert island.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was okay, so it's that one. I really tried to power through it, but I stopped about maybe 3/4 of the way and said, fuck this, I can't do it.
Yeah, the pandemic really shut everything down. So that was, I think, Greg's way of pulling something together so that the fans had something.
Okay.
I can respect that, but at the same time, I agree with you that no, that's not very strong. Go back and watch season 1 and watch the actual show, and it blows my mind how good it is. It's right there with Ash versus the Evil Dead, and it's so fucking good. It's so good.
Okay, well, for sure, I'll definitely check that out this week and see what it's about. Because that Christmas one, I can't.
Nah, it's weird.
Sorry, I can't. Oh my gosh. Well, we are at time, sir.
Okay.
And oh my God, I had a blast.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate you coming on because you're probably gonna be really busy soon. So I appreciate, and you're way ahead in time than me. So I appreciate you staying up late to sit and talk with me and listen and answer questions and stuff. So that was really cool of you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys, again, in the description, all the links are there to go check out Nevermind, the Nirvana tribute band. Check out Eric. check out all this stuff. It's really cool, and keep an eye out for some shows. If you guys know some areas that, are booking for some bands that are really good, like kind of maybe shoot them over in Eric's way, let's get them out here.
Hit me up.
So,
hit me up.
Oh, show. All right, guys. Do you have any last words before we go? Forgot to ask.
Hey, wash your hands and wear the damn mask. So we can't do this if everybody doesn't play along. So, we're all going to be stuck in the house baking bread for another year if we don't get our shit together. So
I've been getting bread bellies again for a year too.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be playing a guy who's 130 pounds. So, we need to stop all this. I need to get back down.
Oh my gosh. I know my boyfriend's finally on a diet. I've been with him for like 6-7 years, never been on a diet once. Now we're on a diet.
Yeah.
Can't do it no more.
Luckily I can wear sweaters, but it only hides so much,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again for joining, and thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate everybody. And again, go check out all the links in the description for Eric and the Nevermind tribute band. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. So that's it.
I was just gonna try to look.
Oh, there we go. Oh, cute. I gotta order me some of those. Do you guys have those for sale on the site?
No, we just throw them out.
Whatever. Get them to California so I can throw a pick at my forehead.
Yeah. Deal.
All right, you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night, and good night.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.